The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
Well, Herron was absolutely human as a hurler. He was positively stellar as a slugger. It was a 4-hit night, and you know what? He was in the mix with all the offensive elements. It was Albert. He was peppering the bleachers, but he wasn't alone. It was a regular Donnybrook. But in the end, the pen was left standing. Tonight, the battle has a Cy Young Award winner dueling a flamethrower. The D-backs look for the series win right now. Chase Field, downtown Phoenix, Arizona, and we're told that Chase Field, of course, an area where long balls are indigenous to this ballpark. When you talk about the offense, you talk about the ball flying out of here. It might not continue tonight, though. It's the Diamondbacks going head-to-head with the St. Louis Cardinals. All the action is on Fox Sports Arizona. Hello there, folks. Welcome back to the ballpark. This man is Mark Grace, indigenous to the broadcast booth each and every night. That's your word, by the way.
It is now. I
know.
love that word.
It's totally tied to you. My name is Darren Sutton. My word is simple. It's pitching. I love pitching. We know you love pitching, and we've got a good pitching matchup.
We really do. Chris Carpenter, a former Cy Young Award winner. Edwin Jackson, a guy that can beat anybody any given day. He's going to need to be great because Chris Carpenter, well, he's never lost to the Arizona Diamondbacks, Darren.
When you talk about Edwin Jackson, power pitcher, longtime American leaguer, he's hitting more bats, but he's hitting them on the bottom side. He's becoming a bit more of a ground ball pitcher.
And really, that's what you need in the National League. We talked about it earlier. The longer you stay in the game in the National League, the longer you don't get pinch hit for. So if he can become a ground ball pitcher, be a guy that pitches to contact, that pitch count will stay down, and all of a sudden now he'll be pitching into the 7th and 8th inning instead of being pinch hit for early in the ballgame.
Chris Carpenter, early in the year, is using his fastball a little bit more, says his curveball isn't quite where he wants it to be. That makes me very scared, honestly, if I'm the Diamondbacks, that he's about to figure it out.
Well, he's got a very good fastball. He's famous for his breaking ball, but he's got a fastball that is in the mid-90s. It tails away from left-handers into right-handers. There's that beautiful curveball. But he has suffered from shoulder problems the last couple of years, so maybe that curveball's not what it used to be, but it really doesn't need to be because when he's got his good fastball, he's just as unhittable as anybody.
Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
All right, should be a good one tonight. Glad to have you with us. The Diamondbacks looking to get back on track and win a series over the St. Louis Cardinals. The bullpen pulled it together last night, and they also got a lot of support from a guy in the pitching staff with a bat in his hands. Dan Herron, is he available off the bench tonight? Will he be wearing his spikes? It's the Diamondbacks going head-to-head with the Cardinals. All the action is next.
mix. Diamondbacks and Cardinals in the final game of a 3-game set. With a win tonight, the Diamondbacks can win this series. Edwin Jackson on the hill tonight, but last night it was Dan Herron, and he did give up 7 runs in 6 innings. He was upset about that, but he did battle and retire the last 7 Cardinal batters. But at the plate, 4 for 4. An amazing effort. It certainly made A.J. Hinch smile. It's our Geico quote of the game.
Dan Herron as an offensive threat is a good one, and I wanted to leave him in. I told him when I told him he was done with his pitching outing, I told him to stick around because he might hit. You know, we were a few away from him, but he got in there and got his 4th hit. I had to believe. I don't know. You guys would know. He's had his first 4-hit game of his career. Those don't come around very often for pitchers. They don't come along that for position players either, for that matter.
Well, so true, and it was a career best 4 hits for Dan Herron. He had 3 in a night before, but never 4. Well, a great night for Herron at the plate last night, and Edwin Jackson on the mound today as the D-backs getting set to take on the Cardinals. In the leadoff spot, Kelly Johnson, and he had 3 doubles last night. Double the fun for Kelly Johnson. We'll hear more about that. Also, the Diamondbacks made a roster move. We'll tell you about that coming up next.
In 1978 in the Southern League. He was a winner in the beginning. He is still a winner just about every year that he goes to work, and has had a nice career against the Diamondbacks. For St. Louis, let's take a look at the order. It's Skip Schumacher, Ryan Ludwig, and Albert Pujols. Behind him protecting is Matt Holliday. Colby Rasmus, Yadier Molina is back after a night off. David Freese, Brendan Ryan, and Chris Carpenter. 26-year-old right-hander, born in Germany, grew up in Columbus, Georgia. An Army kid, Edwin Jackson, traveling the world. He now makes his home in Phoenix, Arizona. Numbers presented by our good friends with the UPS store. Simply put, when he was brought into this world, Gracie, at a point very early, the man above touched that right arm and said, "You are gifted. You will throw hard." He does throw hard.
He throws very hard, and he's finally perfected that fastball. He was a guy that he was signed as an athlete, as a guy with a good arm, but he could hit as well. But now he's perfected the fastball. He understands now a little more about pitching than he used to when he was a youngster. He used to be just a hard thrower. Now he can hit some corners, and he pitches to contact instead of swinging and missing.
Jackson pitched very well in San Diego last time out. 6 shutout innings. It took him 109 pitches, so he didn't pitch as deep as he wants to and as his pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre Jr. wants him to as well. The bullpen struggled. It was eventually a loss. But tonight, a new night. And the right-hander goes to work. First pitch swinging at a fastball driven deep left field. Nearly out of here. That ball scalded Skip Schumacher. He came ready to play. He came looking for a fastball. He got it, and he crushed it.
So much for the first pitch. Get me over fastball. Yeah, he got it over all right, and Skip Schumacher almost got it over the wall. Hit the top of the wall. First pitch fastball. Bang! Schumacher puts a charge into it over the head of Gerardo Parra. And just like that, Cardinals are in business here in the top of the first.
Ryan Ludwig had a multiple home run game last night, the 9th of his career. And he had a majority of his homers on the road last year as well, 18 of 22. Breaking ball drops in there, 0-1 the count.
Edwin Jackson saying, well, if you guys are going to sit on that first pitch fastball, I better break out the slider early.
And throws a couple of breaking balls, throws a curveball and a slider. Doesn't throw nearly as many curveballs, though. And an occasional changeup. Mainly fastball and slider. And he is drilled up and in. Ludwig hit hard, and you could tell trying to come in. That front side opened up a little bit early. The arm drags, and then you miss your spot.
It's a painful trip to first base. And, well, this isn't really the way you draw it up if you're Edwin Jackson. Ouch, right in the ribs. That'll get your attention, certainly. Take a listen. That is a sound of, that one didn't graze him. That was rock solid.
Well, you talk about how you may draw it up, and you certainly don't enjoy drawing it up with Albert Pujols digging in, nobody out. 6 home runs in that National League lead. Facing Edwin Jackson. First pitch curveball, it's a strike. 3rd game in a row that the first 2 have reached for the St. Louis Cardinals. Yesterday was a Schumacher drop, 3rd strike, then a homer by Ludwig. The day before, same situation here, and the Cardinals came up empty. The 0-1. Nice job, Chris Snyder. That's the slider, a little bit harder there. Explain this.
That's just called strength. Strength and full extension. That is throwing the barrel of the bat at the baseball and making solid contact. Great hitters, even when you're a little bit fooled, can find a way to hit it on the barrel.
You and I had a lengthy conversation about this before the game. The 1-1 just off the end of the bat. He was looking for a split-fingered fastball, but still was out front. He got it, but was out front a bit.
The head just stays right on it, and he wasn't way out in front. He was just ever so slightly out in front. He threw the head of the bat at the ball, made contact, and sailed out of here. Well, it's nice to be strong. That's a strong man there in Mark McGuire, their hitting coach.
Big Mac looks on. Pujols referencing him before the game. That one is crushed to center field. Right off the end of the bat, though. Young gets it back in, hustling the 3rd. And just one runner moves up. Probably, I'm guessing, that Ludwig could have taken advantage of the situation as well. Did not do so.
Well, it's a good read there by Skip Schumacher. It was a line drive out to Chris Young. Once he saw Chris Young had a beat on it, he scampered back to second and tagged up. Ludwig did not do the same. I think that's the right play for Ludwig. You don't want to get left at the gate in case that ball does get over the head of Chris Young. So 1st and 3rd, Albert makes a productive out. And Edwin Jackson needs a ground ball.
Matt Holliday squares off with it. 315, 4 home runs, 8 batted in. And he is slugging .611 to start the year. Good pitch, hard slider, 0-1 the count to Holliday.
You can tell the game plan for the Cardinals is go out and attack the first pitch fastball. They're looking first pitch fastball. We saw that with Schumacher to begin the game. Well, we've seen some swings and misses now at the first pitch sliders.
Does he throw him another one? Runners on first and third. He did. Snyder blocked it up.
Nicely done there by Chris Snyder. Got to be a wall back there, especially with a runner on third base.
And especially when you throw about 20% of the time hard sliders that might be in the dirt. I mean, that is the pitch you have to be ready to block up. Not the change of the curve, but that slider. He'll spike it like a Dan Heron split-fingered fastball.
This is a throw over. I don't think we're going to see a pitch here.
So as we saw right there, the catcher can advise the pitcher to throw to first. It's not just the pitcher on his own.
That's exactly right. Chris Snyder gave the throw over sign.
That come from the dugout too, maybe?
Most of them do, yes. Especially from former catchers like A.J. Hinch or Bob Melvin or Bob Brindley.
Popped it up. Here comes Young.
Justin Upton needs to take control. He's got the better arm.
Oh, my goodness. He just threw it off the backstop, and it cost the Diamondbacks a run. Really no reason. They already were respecting the arm of Justin Upton. They were not going to tag and score. So Edwin Jackson made his pitch, and a huge error by the Diamondbacks right fielder. Number 28, Rasmus.
Well, you can see Justin knows he made a mistake. But those are mistakes that you would think by now Justin would learn. You can see he's still upset with himself. Bo Porter, I'm sure, will have a conversation with Justin.
High fly ball, deep right field. That one's gone. Colby Rasmus. And it's 3-0 St. Louis.
Another first pitch swing. This is a first pitch slider. Down and in. That's where Rasmus loves it. And he launches it way out of here to right field. Another first pitch swing. That is a left-hander's nitro zone, knee high, middle in. Rasmus hits his 4th home run of the season. Don't want to really try to get into a slugfest when you're facing Chris Carpenter, Darren.
You certainly don't, and Carpenter, when you stake a pitcher like Chris to 3 runs, there is a comfort factor, especially when he is admitting that there are certain pitches that are still works in progress. He'll push them right through. 1-1 the count. It was interesting listening to Albert Pujols before the game. Now, he was referring to hitting, but the same applies to what Justin Upton just did, and he was speaking of Upton when we were talking. As that one on a backhand goes to the backstop. So the one thing I learned after a while, and I still am guilty of it on occasion, is you cannot force things. You cannot force it with your bat in your hands. Now, the same applies in the outfield. He said, I finally realized that I can't do everything, and you cannot force things.
That's exactly right. And it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to do it. Justin got ahead of himself out in the outfield there. Wanted to make the heroic play, even when he knows, or at least I know he knows now, that they're not going to test his arm on a shallow fly ball like that. But yet he wanted to be a playmaker, and ended up costing him dearly.
The 2-2. Just becoming a tough at bat as he fights a pitch off away. 17 pitches here in the first. Folks, Gracie onto something right away as he watches. The Cardinals just really aggressive early in counts. Now, this is the B swing, the protecting swing from Molina. And a good at bat, 3-2 the count. Grass with that full head of hair and a smile, sharing about it with his teammates. Georgia boy, first-round pick, Russell County High School in Phoenix City, Alabama. Full count, 2 outs. Line drive, dying behind the bag, but it's in there. Molina reaches. So the Cardinals have really brought it out of the gates tonight, and that's a great at-bat. Boy, he earned that hit.
Slider just stays in the middle of the plate. He fights it off right back up the box. Beautiful job of hitting again by these Cardinals.
They came into this series clearly the best pitching team in the National League early on in the season. And they are day by day raising those offensive numbers as well. And it's very early, but the Diamondbacks were a superior team offensively at the beginning of this series on the season.
Another
Big
attack
swing.
at a first pitch.
They really are. The defense had better be ready. Let's take a look at it. Parra, Young, Upton. Abreu plays third tonight. Mark Reynolds doesn't get to start. We'll explain why. And Chris Snyder is behind the plate. And that man, boy, if he could push the reset button, give himself a first inning do-over, he certainly would. Good fastball, 0-2.
Haven't had a little cut on it. Right to the outside corner, as you said, good fastball.
But Abreu gets to start at third. We saw Reynolds noticeably a couple of times last night favoring his legs, slowing down, running in an awkward manner. Since spring, he has been battling a minor quad injury. It was planned today that this was going to be a day off anyway, as that one looks like strike three.
Yeah.
So Mark watches tonight. Abreu is out there working. These Cardinals are really out there working. But Hinch, listening to him the last couple of days when being asked about the injuries and how tough it must be, clearly says, I don't want any excuses. Not from me, not from my clubhouse. So, boys, no excuses. Go to Hinton. Southwest Airlines brings you a red-hot Kelly Johnson. We mentioned Tony Abreu. We'll explain even deeper. Drew, Upton, LaRoche. It's Chris Young, Gerardo Parra, Chris Snyder, and Edwin Jackson bats ninth. Christopher John Carpenter is 34 years old. He's a New Hampshire native. 2-0 this year with an ERA of 3.5, and for him, if you ask him, he's still figuring it out. Many big leaguers would love to be figuring it out with those numbers.
Exactly, and one thing jumps out is 5 home runs already through 18 innings. That's very unlike Chris Carpenter. And now the Diamondbacks come out swinging at the first pitch. Kelly Johnson will have to get a new hunk of lumber because he broke his bat on that one.
Now, folks, I think you just... Let's get ready for just a full-blown Donnybrook. Are you ready?
Really? Just a pure 6 brawl?
Let's do it.
All right. Here we go.
Kelly takes a breaking ball in. He is slugging .667 this year. Big offensive season. He's got 3 doubles as that one off speed changed up on him 1 and 2.
That's a nice little change of pace right there from Chris Carpenter.
And then a curveball. That's the pitch you were speaking of in the open. Three doubles in a game last night. For the 3rd time in his career as he hangs around. And in 12 straight games he has reached safely. Of course that means a hit or a walk. The 1-2. Spun off of that breaking ball. Looked like a slider.
Something. I thought maybe a changeup. You thought it might be a slider. Might have been a little bit of both.
The 2-2. Fastball dives down and away. That's the pitch you're talking about. That's the one you point out as his bread and butter. Nice sinking hard fastball.
Hard fastball. You see this ball tails off the plate. Nice job by Kelly Johnson just swatting it away and getting another opportunity.
There we go. Takes up and away. 3-2 the count.
No matter what the result is, this has been a very good at bat by Kelly Johnson.
It's become the norm.
Well,
he chases a high fastball.
He won't tell you it is now, but it was a very good at bat. 9 pitches is what it took to finally retire him.
Defensively for the St. Louis Cardinals, we see Holiday, Rasmus, and Ludwig in the outfield. Freeze, Ryan, Schumacher, the Gold Glover. Pujols is at first, and another Gold Glover behind home plate in Yadier Molina. Yadier got the night off last night as that one paints the outside corner. He, of course, behind the plate that entire 20-inning marathon Saturday. He had caught 74 straight innings in a handful of days.
Well, I would love playing behind this guy. He never leaves the mound. He just gets it and goes. Works fast and throws strikes. Oh, baby, look at that curveball.
2 steps back up to the white of the rubber.
Let's go. Give me a sign. Let's play baseball.
Pitches up, fouls it off. 1-2 the count. And again, a lot of times a pitcher will get a new baseball, as Carpenter just did, and they'll take a good long walk around the mound, rubbing it up. Nearly grabbed that inside corner. Bit of a comebacker there.
Yeah, he wanted it. It stayed a little bit inside. Home plate umpire Ed Hickox, the one in charge back there.
Thought about swinging at the curveball as Carpenter barks it himself. 3-2.
Another full count.
Stephen waits on deck. The one thing when you walk up on Chris in the locker room, you notice right out of the gate says the 3-2 is outside and it's ball 4. Still yelling at himself. Is that newfound haircut he wears? He looks like he's ready to go to battle. When you see him in that locker room with the hat off, you see a little bit more hair, but there are a lot of shaved heads on this Cardinals club. A lot of the guys will shave the dome and wear the full beard.
What's going on with that? Did you get to the bottom of that?
I didn't, because Albert was available. So I just walked over and listened to him talk. We pulled away from the video screen for just a moment. Steven, and he takes a strike. 0-1 the count. Drew at .314, a couple of homers and 7 RBIs. Steven slugging .520. And the 0-1. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Carpenter in the American League broke in with Toronto. He was the Jays' #1 pick back in 1993. And he was never even close to the pitcher he has been since coming to St. Louis. Breaking ball, and yes, he got it. Boy, 3 pitches. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. That'll do it.
Stephen Drew didn't enjoy that one too much. There's the Carpenter curveball. Stephen just can't lay off of it. Yeah, he goes around.
Upton stands in the back of the batter's box. Over the top of a slider. 0-1 the count to Justin. Justin sharing the other day that if he were able to sit at length with Albert Pujols, something he has never done, he would want to ask him about being a 3-hole hitter. As the breaking ball is a strike, 0-2. And how when you start to feel that you may be pitched around, you still have the same intensity and focus every pitch, even if you feel that way. He said, I'd love to pick his brain. 0-2. Did that nick him?
I think it
just sounded like it.
Justin thinks it did. Well, if it hits you, just throw your bat and go.
Must not have. It sure sounded like it.
It sounded like it got him. Take a listen. Yeah. Throw your bat and go to first base.
The 1-2. And instead, he's a strikeout victim. Upton goes down on strikes. That sounded like it hit him.
Hard to understand. It is playoff time in the desert. Will captain Shane Doan return from injury for the Coyotes' Game 5 clash against the Red Wings? The best-of-7 series is tied at 2 games apiece, and the whiteout will be in full force as the hard-hitting matchup continues. You can catch all the action beginning at 6:30 p.m. with the Quest Coyotes live pregame show, only on Fox Sports Arizona.
Yes! Beautiful.
Shane Doan going to be back, you think, Darren?
Well, stay tuned. I mean, that's why we have to stay tuned. He's hopeful. There's the word that they use as well. Boy, I'm dialed in. Hopeful for Game 5 on Friday. You got me that way.
Missed all of Game 4 with that upper body injury. I guess he's got a... That one's grounded to short. I'll take this one, Darren. Stephen Drew up with it. Across the diamond. One quick out for Edwin Jackson. Oh, I'm sorry. You're the play-by-play guy.
No.
Go ahead.
I like it, though. I loved your read. You got it done.
What do you think that upper body injury is? Has he got a... Did he hurt his stomach?
Somewhere above the belt.
His wrist?
Hockey's, I'm told, a little bit different in the way that they share their injuries.
Did he hurt his eye? That's upper body.
It is. Maybe he got a bad haircut.
Ooh. I know the feeling.
That is low. 1-0 the count to Chris Carpenter. But that's a great promotion, and proud to have it right here. And good luck. That's a strike. 1-1 the count to Chris Carpenter. Here, the Cardinals lead the Diamondbacks 3-0. Kind of a funky first inning, and I would imagine Edwin Jackson looking forward to putting it behind him.
Well, that's a good way to do it. Just throw some gas upstairs and get some swings and misses.
That's a great reaction by Carpenter. Like he was just sure that he was going to drive that pitch at his letters, looking up to the sky.
Oh, goodness.
Man. So he's chirping out at Edwin Jackson.
Chris Carpenter, none too happy with Edwin Jackson. Edwin Jackson not backing down. Tony La Russa going to come out. I'm sure he'll have his. Yeah, here we go. Ah, boys will be boys.
Let's see the boys in red a little bit.
Boys will be boys. Edwin Jackson. Chris Carpenter, none too happy, and I don't blame him. It hurts when you get hit. And Edwin Jackson, I'm not going to let you sit back there and try to intimidate me. Connor Jackson, you're already hurt. You just stay right there. Yeah, he's still hurting. He is not happy. Ah, well. And this hurts, folks. Right at him. Right off, it looks like his left forearm. And that New Hampshire temper came out, and Edwin's like, well, I wasn't. Okay. Hey, wait a minute.
They're still chirping.
Now Tony La Russa and Chris Carpenter and Field and Colbreth.
Well, when you talk about Edwin Jackson, as far as history goes, there is none that we know of. Certainly there is an appearance or there is some sort of a response by Carpenter that he was very angered. The hurting part of it we know. We know how badly it hurts. You do, because you explained it. You've been there.
Oh, it hurts. But I think also Chris Carpenter saw Ryan Ludwig take one right in the ribs. You can see that welt on his forearm. I mean, that hurts. Trust me. That's why he's mad. It's because it really hurts. I mean, that is a big old welt right there. Now you hope he's okay. Chris Carpenter is very good for the game of baseball. And he's very good for the city of St. Louis and the St. Louis Cardinals. And if he's got a fracture in there or something like that, then he's going to probably miss a lot of time, and you don't want that. You want the best players and the best pitchers out there every fifth day.
Breaking ball is a strike. Edwin Jackson, by the way, due up fifth next inning.
You know, some of the old school pitchers just go right down the line and just start flipping everybody. I think your father was one of those guys.
Oh, you bet. He was, as that one's on the ground. There's one. There's two. Carpenter ran right at Stephen Drew. Full run right at him.
Okay,
and Stephen doesn't like it. And the benches are going to clear.
Nice walk.
And here we go. Now he walks off.
Everything's good.
Chris Young is all the way in. Albert Pujols charges out. And Edwin Jackson is back behind the pack. He got pulled away. Pujols came looking for Jackson.
Well, Chris Carpenter wanted to take it out on Stephen Drew. He didn't get to him in time, and Stephen Drew had something to say. And it looks like it's a lot of standing around and a lot of squawking and not much else. Matt Williams, Albert Pujols right there next to each other.
Isn't that interesting, too? Pujols heading over. He wants to finish the conversation with Edwin Jackson. All right, let's go back to the benches since we're going to sing We Are the World. They cleared. Everyone came off. I would imagine now there has to be some sort of a warning. Drew didn't like being run at. Carpenter, look at him. He's already back out to warm up. Look at that, Mark Grace. Carpenter's cleared off the rubber. He's ready to go to
Well,
work.
the one thing that Chris Carpenter now has to be careful of is if he does hit somebody, he's probably going to get thrown out of the game because he's already shown that he's just very upset. And I don't blame him. That hurts. But now he really went after Stephen Drew, but he was forced out by half the baseline, so he wasn't able to get Stephen Drew. If it was more of a bang-bang play at second, Stephen Drew would probably be in short left field right now with a roll block. But he missed him. And I think Chris Carpenter has let it be known that he is ticked off, and he wants to take someone with him. But he has to be careful right here because he could easily get kicked out of the game.
They're going to patch up that forearm. The home plate umpire looked at it. Now he brought in a couple of other guys from the staff. They're going to patch it up, put a Band-Aid on it. We'll take a quick break. Obviously, our commercial inning break, but we'll keep our cameras rolling.
This is big league.
Well, you only hope that this is just the beginning. Deep left field, Holiday goes up against the wall, takes away extra bases. We will show it to you again. Matt Holiday with a fabulous play, taking away extra bases from Adam LaRoche. Gets it going to fastball right down the middle. LaRoche, who has been red hot, scolds it. Holiday marking his territory with the leap too early, and then banged in an awkward manner into that wall in the padding.
It's still a terrific play by a guy not really known for his defense out there, more of a guy that talks with his bat.
So now Chris Young. Well, so far everything just fine. Carpenter went right back to work. You saw how quickly he came out.
Yeah. I mean, he's got you can see, he's not happy, and he's gonna take out some anger, and he can't wait to pitch. It was Kelly Johnson. I was talking about Stephen Drew in the double play. It was Kelly Johnson that he went after, but just couldn't get to his hat and smoked the shortstop. Nice play there.
It's two great plays in a row because that ball hit right on the screws.
Both balls hit very hard, but outs. Fastball in the middle of the plate. Nice job of keeping it in front and making the play.
Here's Gerardo Parra. Three to nothing the score. The Cardinals lead it. Fastball dives out of the zone. No long balls. 4 runs batted in for Parra. Outside. 2-0 the count. Well, they all really pulled it back together quickly. Everyone wanted to get to one another, and within moments, patting each other on the back. Interesting how that happens. We'll see.
That means that most everybody just really didn't want to fight.
Seems like the same thing to me. Maybe one guy. Baseball brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet. Get blazing fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet. And by Blimpie, America's sub shop. Ryan Ludwig to lead things off. He was hit by a pitch and came on around to score. That was back in the first inning when Colby Rasmus homered. 3-0, the Cardinals lead. He's going to start him off, looks like with a slider. He does, and it's outside. You and I were talking during the commercial break. Because of the emotion, energy, anger, as that one is lifted deep in the left center field. Chris Young has got just enough room. Being shown by Chris Carpenter and the attempted run at Kelly Johnson, you don't think he in any way, shape, or form can, under the radar, even things up now with Edwin Jackson.
Well, I think Chris Carpenter was going to try to even things up by hammering Kelly Johnson on the double play ball, but he couldn't get to him. So now I think he has shown that he is, or was, I don't know if he is anymore, but that he was very upset about being hit. And once again, I don't blame him. And I'm from the old school. I don't mind getting even. But I think now he's shown that he is so upset, or he is so Hades bent on getting even, that it might cost him getting tossed out of the game if he decides to hit somebody now. And now, can he do it maybe later on in the ball game? Well, of course he can. And I'll be honest. Back in the day, the Diamondbacks got one coming. Ludwig's already been hit. Is that a scalded foul? Ludwig's already been hit, and Carpenter, their pitcher, their star pitcher, has been hit. So, Tony La Russa and Matt Williams even. We saw Carpenter talking to Matt Williams. I think a lot of guys that came from the old school would say, hey, we got one coming, boys. It's just a matter of who's going to get it.
1-2 the count to Albert Pujols. As the pitch dives down and away, we may, after the Albert at bat, bring in Joe Borowski to get his quick thought on it as well.
I'd love to hear a pitcher's point of view on this.
2-2 to Pujols. Changeup, doesn't throw too many at all, but Albert causes you to almost invent pitches at times. just by digging into the box. It was Pujols and his emotion that came charging out, looking to talk to, not get to, but talk to angrily Edwin Jackson, but he calmed down quickly. Got him with a high fastball. Joe Borowski, are you over there?
I'm over here, guys.
All right, Joe Borowski, longtime Major League relief pitcher. What did you see? I know I'm only giving you a minute here with 2 outs, but what are your thoughts on the situation?
I'll tell you what, I don't think it was purposeful, but
Not at all.
I mean, Gracie knows La Russa better than anybody, and you know how La Russa is. You hit one of his, and you're going to be getting hit yourself. I don't know. Was there a warning issued or not? Did you see that, guys?
Did not see a warning.
I haven't seen a warning yet.
If there's not a warning, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody's going to be getting hit. And you know, Gracie, usually whatever position you hit is the same position that's going to be getting hit.
A lot of times, Joe, and I know for a fact that Edwin Jackson was not trying to hit either of those guys.
No, not at all. I don't think so either.
And trust me, every Cardinal knows that Edwin Jackson was not out there headhunting or trying to hurt anybody, as that was ripped into center field for a 2-off base hit. But we all know that Edwin Jackson was not trying to hit Ludwig or Carpenter. But the answer to that is, and the answer is, hey, you know, I wasn't trying to hit you, and the answer to that is, as a guy that got hit plenty of times like that, hey, if you don't know how to pitch inside, then don't try to pitch inside.
Exactly.
That's the answer to that.
Totally. I totally agree with that. And having played against Tony for a lot, hey, he's thinking that exact same thing. He's going to try and take away that inside part from you. If you can't pitch in there, don't take a chance of hurting my guys, and especially the pitcher. That's I'm very curious to see how they respond to that.
Joe, something tells me you may be talking about it in the postgame show.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be a topic.
Hey, Joe, if you're a lot like me, I kind of like this, man. Boys will be boys. Get out there and battle it out.
I was telling the guys, I said, don't be surprised if there's a fight tonight.
Yeah.
And sure enough, those benches came flying.
Yeah, let's see if we can fill Chase Field with some haymakers.
Thank you, Joe.
No problem.
Well, that's good stuff right there. Good perspective. I'm with you. Once they started singing We Are the World.
Yeah, then the fun ended. The excitement ended.
Pitch is high, 1-1 the count. Well, you've been there, and you can, I guess, put us in their shoes a little bit. You're so angry initially.
It hurts. You know, let somebody take sit your forearm on a table and let somebody hit it with a sledgehammer. And then say, no problem.
Breaking ball spikes in there. 43 pitches for Edwin Jackson.
And I can't reiterate enough. I know, and every Cardinal knows, that Edwin Jackson was not trying to hit either of those batters. He was trying to come inside. The ball got away from him. He drilled a couple of guys.
You can see even Snyder reaching for the ball from the other side of the plate. Nearly picked him off there.
Well, we saw Yadier Molina try to steal a base earlier. Why not Matt Holliday? That's the thing about Tony La Russa. He has always got his right foot on the accelerator. Oh, yeah, Holliday was leaning. He got back safely. Took a glove right in the face, too, from Adam LaRoche. Got a face full of first base mitt.
2-1 the count.
I think that close play over there probably has Holliday dropping anchor now.
Rasmus with the 2-run homer back in the first inning. As that one sails high and away. 3-1 to Colby Rasmus. 2-hit game Monday night, his first in about a week and a half. Last year he had a great rookie year. 147 games, 16 home runs as a rookie. No rookie played in more games in the National League than this young man.
What a beautiful 3-1 fastball right to the outside corner at 95.
he can throw a pickoff throw over there.
Isn't it interesting with 3 and 2 and 2 outs that they're holding the runner on? The
With
runner's going to go.
hitter.
Yeah, with a left-handed hitter, I would probably be back close to the grass. But they don't want Holiday to get too big a jump, I guess. They're going to take their chances on leaving that hole open. Gas, doesn't matter.
Got him with a fastball away. When we come back, Edwin Jackson is due up second. Thinking outside of the plate, up and in, more like it. After hitting Ludwig early, he hit Carpenter, and Carpenter with choice words, first of all, to thin air. Then with Edwin Jackson tried to run at Kelly Johnson. That's all he could do is run at him. Words were exchanged, benches cleared. Really nothing happened at that point. But we will see if, in fact, as the slider is strike one, Carpenter opts to, this time, at this point, even the score. There is an extra series between these two clubs this year. Just in case you're curious, here at Chase Field. So there are plenty of ball games remaining. And is that a possibility? Is that discussed?
There's always a possibility. Always.
0-2 the count to Chris Snyder. As that one is away, the Cardinals would be back June 11th, 12th, and 13th. And then, of course, there's always a trip to St. Louis. So plenty of opportunities to get together. Chris Snyder, base hit, left field.
Well, he left a fastball up to Snyder, and Snyder just pounded it through the left side for the first base hit of the evening for the Diamondbacks. And now Edwin Jackson. I know you're thinking retaliation, partner. Probably not going to happen here with a runner on base.
I'm leaning on you, certainly, in your experience here. And I'm thinking he wants to. Every ounce of his being wants to.
But you're also hurting your team by doing it here. So there'll be a bunt. And probably, swinging bunt. Butcher boy, they call that. Slug bunt. I think all he really needs to do is just bunt it to the first base side, see if Snyder can get a big jump. Diamondbacks have struggled recently getting bunts down.
Jack Howell talks about his offense and its need to be creative on nights like tonight. And that's called a strike, so things like getting bunts down, bunting for hits. Obviously, this is getting a bunt down for a sacrifice situation. 0-2 the count.
Oh, dear. That's a way to get even.
For now. That's an old-fashioned yellow hammer. Oh, my.
What a pitch.
Well, we talked about how Carpenter, as you said, maybe showed his emotions more so than he wanted when he ran at Kelly Johnson. He made sure to send word back to Kelly Johnson that Kelly wasn't the one he was upset with. He caught Matt Williams here on his way off the field, and you could see then Matt run into Kelly Johnson and pass the message on.
But that is one way to get even with an opposing team when you get hit, is go in hard on a double play ball. I remember one time our own Kirk Gibson got hit by a pitch against one of my Cubs teams, and he got to first base, and he was sour. And I was holding him on. I'm standing right next to him, and he's very upset, and he starts racking, fracking, soda cracking over there, and he said, I don't give a darn, Gracie. He hit me, and as a matter of fact, you better tell Ryan Sandberg and Sean Dunston if there's a double play ball, I'm going to hammer somebody. And instead of getting mad at Gibby, you know what I did? Sean Rhino, be heads up, because here he comes. And you should have seen their faces turn gray, because they knew it was coming, and they knew Gibby would find a way to put a hurting on somebody. I remember that like it was yesterday. He scared me.
Well, what's the point in you saying anything, mixing it up with him at that point? Just passing along a message.
I was just a youngster at the time. I was going to ask him for his autograph.
Johnson goes down on strikes with a breaking ball. Hey, by the way, don't forget, every time a Diamondback hits a home run this season, and Carpenter has surprisingly given up 5 this year, Fulton Homes will donate $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. I know you love his fastball, and there's a lot to love, but boy, he has a good breaking ball. Just a wicked combination. Fly ball, well struck center field. Rasmus, he got himself a fastball and hits it all the way to the wall. Chris Snyder's out front. Bo Porter hustling him on around, where a relay throw is to Carpenter as he cuts it off. So 3-1 the score. Abreu did not try to pull it and use the entire ballpark. He can't hit it any further to the opposite field than that.
That was just a beautiful piece of hitting. The way to hit the curveball is don't let him get to the curveball. Hit the first good fastball you see in the middle of the plate. And he beats Rasmus on the fly, about a 405-foot ball to left center field, and the Diamondbacks claw a run closer. And Stephen Drew with an opportunity to get him a little closer yet.
Now that is the first earned run the Diamondbacks have scored against Chris Carpenter.
Ever?
Since July 7th, 2005. Just about ever.
Yeah, it's about ever.
22 and 2/3 scoreless innings. Not in the same division, so not seeing him all the time.
And he's a special talent.
Boy, but was he ever mad not too long ago? I mean, really mad.
And once again, I don't blame him.
I don't think anybody does.
Yeah. It really hurts.
Well, and as much as it hurts, especially pitchers aren't used to feeling that pain as much as you guys are.
Pitchers don't get hit very often because most pitchers don't throw inside to other pitchers just because they don't really need to a lot of times, because pitchers, for the most part, aren't that big a threat. Don't say that to Dan Herron. But Chris Carpenter's a pretty good hitter, pretty good athlete.
Stephen Drew, rocket shot heading to the corner. On a backhand it is played. Racing on around. It's going to be close. With a head first line, he's in there. It's an RBI. 3-2 the score.
Nice piece of hitting there by Stephen Drew. Breaking ball stays up in the zone, and he just swats it into right field. Abreu comes around to score. Stephen Drew, very aggressive on a good arm. As you see Abreu coming around.
Stephen was, but Abreu wasn't. And Abreu heard it when he got back into the dugout. You come easing into home plate like that, and there's a play at second, and Drew is out, and you haven't scored yet.
That's very true.
So immediately he was stopped at the dugout steps. Thank you for driving in that run, but I need you running through home plate.
Yeah, if the throw was on line at second base and Stephen Drew is out, that run would not have scored. I was busy watching Stephen Drew. I was not watching Tony Abreu. Yeah, get across. Get across. Yeah, you can see the coaching staff. Kurt Gibson leading the charge. Get your fanny across home plate.
And he was met at the top step with a handshake and then an earful. That's a strike, 2-1 the count.
I guess if you're going to get an earful, get it after you score a
That's
run.
exactly right.
Way to hit the ball, way to drive in that run. But if I see that again, you're probably going to spend a little more time on the bench.
2-1 the count to Upton. Big swing, 2-2. Slider.
Yeah, Justin just a little bit over aggressive right now. Trying to hit the long ball now instead of just trying to hit it hard somewhere.
Oh for 6 with 5 strikeouts against Carpenter in his career. Stayed back as long as he could on that curveball, didn't he?
Well,
Still wasn't long enough.
That is a good curveball, isn't it? Jack House shouting encouragement to his young star. A young star that's struggling to plate.
Well, I asked Jack, is he at the point yet where he has anybody on his couch? Meaning, are you doing psychiatry work yet with any of your hitters? He said, I'm not at that point. I'm doing some cage work, but I'm not doing any psychiatry work yet. Well, it'll come, unfortunately. Upton goes down on strikes, but the Diamondbacks get right back in this ball game. 3-2 the score. Every night on television, a little teaching moment here, Gracie.
Well, you see, had there been a good throw and an out at second base, that run would not have counted. So, Tony, hey, nice going, nice going. I'll get the bat. Get a little love from Adam LaRoche here. Have the bat boy. Nice going, way to go. Okay. Uh-oh. Why does the manager want to talk to him? And now go get your high fives.
And that's it.
And it's a lesson learned. And A.J. Hinch has to do that.
And he's not alone. We've seen it over the last couple of days. Guys on both teams.
Yeah.
You just, I think you said it best in the break. And little leaguers do it, high schoolers do it, and on occasion, big leaguers do it. You use that word assume. You just assume it's a single and an RBI.
He's never played with Stephen Drew before. He doesn't realize that Stephen Drew is an aggressive base runner in those situations.
Base hit left field. With the score 3-2. Yadier Molina's got a couple of hits in this ball game.
He's a good hitter.
A really good hitter, and he's gotten better. Started out as a good catcher, who you hoped would be a good hitter. But now he's both. Hard to argue with the fact that he's one of the best all around at his position in the game. Throws out about half of attempting base runners at steal. Here's David Freese. Freese struck out. You talk about Molina there at first base. Certainly looking for a ground ball here if you're Edwin. Breaking ball is low. Molina caught all 20 innings the other day. But from 2005 until now, 591 starts. He's third in the game. More than 5,000 innings caught. He's thrown out 60% as that one has popped up.
That's unheard of.
60.
Well, that means you've got a pitching staff that's really helping you out as well.
Well, the man starting tonight for the Cardinals is the best in the game with regard to shutting down a running game as a right-handed pitcher.
Now, yes, he does a great job of quick release and accurate, strong throws, but you've got to have a pitching staff that gets the ball to you quickly and gives you an opportunity. And this Cardinal staff does. And that's a must for anybody pitching for Tony La Russa. You have to be able to handle the opposing running game.
Could be two. There's one. There's two and a double play. Been looking for some ground ball outs in this ball game. It was a big part of the story in San Diego. This is two big ground ball outs.
Second double play, that's about as tailor-made as you can do it. A firm ground ball right to Stephen Drew. Drew, Johnson, LaRoche made it look easy.
Jackson in that outing in San Diego, 13 ground outs, 2 fly outs, and 3 strikeouts. And the numbers spiking this year. That two-seam fastball's got plenty of life to it. Not a bad idea, but he barehands it and shoots it on to first in time for the out.
And when we come back, I'm going to tell you why it's a terrible idea.
You got it. You mean the pitcher? Depot doing more on defense, doing the little things to help yourself out. And Edwin Jackson, this play turned out to be very simple for him. Defensively ended it. Easily turning it into an out, defensively ending the inning, which was not a very good idea for the 8-hole hitter, was it?
I don't believe so, because now with 2 outs, you drop a bunt on a very good fielding pitcher, a very athletic pitcher. Now, Chris Carpenter is going to lead off the top of the 5th inning. So, in that situation, if I'm Brendan Ryan, drive it in the gap.
Well, I'm a big proponent of driving it in the gap.
Because how many times is Chris Carpenter going to drive you in from first base with 2 outs? Probably not very often.
Very rarely.
Drive it in the gap. Maybe he can drive you in with a single.
Try to hit a homer.
Yeah, that too. That's why it was a terrible idea.
1-1 the count.
Oh, baby, what a changeup that was. Go ahead and just add that to your arsenal, Chris Carpenter. Don't be so mean, son.
And you had a feeling that a big cut was coming. And with a fastball, contact would have been a deep one. He had an extra base hit taken away. That's why he wisely threw a solid changeup. And the curveball just missed outside.
That's when you're so fooled there. You can't swing. You got locked up. You can't swing. You just hope upon hope that the umpire calls it a ball. And he did. So you get another one. You get locked up again. Boy, that curveball looks like it is no fun to take a peek at.
Throws it about a quarter of the time with regard to that curveball, and that's this season.
Fastball away.
3-2. Boy, he is locked in. I tell you, 2 pitches, right? The take and then the hit, right? That tells you he's locked in.
Taking the 2 curveballs, got him to the fastball, and then once he got to the fastball, he didn't miss it. Got something up in the zone he can drive. He drives it out into right center field for a leadoff base runner. That's just a very good at-bat by the veteran.
That one is low. Spins off of a changeup there. This is the second to last pitch. Second to last.
Just somehow able to lay off of it. Ended up getting him a pitch he can handle. That's what hitting is. Getting something you can handle. Not swinging at the pitcher's pitch, but your pitch.
Base hit left field, Young. And he had been in a major downward spiral in his last 5+ games. That ends in 0 for 21.
Fastball running back in. Chris Young just belts it through the left side. Now it's time for a decision, and I think right here, Darren Sutton, I don't think you're bunting right here if you're Gerardo Parra, because all that, if you get a successful bunt here, all you're going to do is probably intentionally walk Chris Snyder, and Edwin Jackson will have to hit with the bases loaded, and then you may not get it. So Parra is not bunting, and he takes a curveball for strike 1. Go ahead and drive it in the gap. I know you're a big fan of the bunt.
0-1 to count. I love the bunt. When a hitter is struggling and a big third baseman is back at third and they just want to get a base runner on to start out an inning.
Mm-hmm.
Here, really supportive of driving it in the gap. 1-1 the count.
Oh, he got a good pitch to hit there, but he was tardy. You could see he's upset with himself.
The 1-2.
Oh, he just got schooled right there by Chris Carpenter. That's the thing. Sometimes you only get one good pitch to hit. And it was the pitch before he got that he fouled off that led to that. That's not what led to the strikeout. That's just a crazy good pitch. What led to the strikeout was fouling off the good pitch to hit.
So now Chris Snyder. Waves at a slider over the top of it. By the way, Parra may have a little help. Not a straight platoon, but a guy that can help him out in the outfield. As the Diamondbacks made a roster move before the game today. Jordan Norberto, left-handed flamethrower, struggling throwing strikes. Cole Gillespie will get his first major league action when he gets into the game.
Oh dear, what a curveball there.
Gillespie is out of Oregon State. Talented squad, a lot of professionals coming off of that team, and came over from Milwaukee last year in the Felipe Lopez drill. 0-2. What an exciting day for him. Snyder, ground ball. There's one. Good hard slide, didn't matter, spinning right out of the way of Schumacher and turning it over. So Carpenter rolls up another tailor-made twin killing. Well, it's the top of the fifth inning. 3-2 is the score. We know that, but do we know what in the world is Pachinko? Gracie, you can find out, learn how you can play right here at Chase Field. You go to the interactive kiosk near section 111 during Arizona Diamondbacks regular season home games. Gila River Casinos. Head on out to the Shula Steakhouse out there.
Hey! He's got a big old beard, and what's he got on his noggin there, Darren?
That'd be a Cardinals baseball, Gracie.
Goodness. You think he did that himself?
I'm guessing no.
Oh, look at the old school colors with his lady friend, his wife. That's big league. That's big league right there. Let's go to the ball game. Let's paint our noggin.
Carpenter hits that one on the ground. Is an out. Time now for our AT&T trivia question. Albert Pujols won the National League Triple Crown for the decade of the 2000s. Who was the last player to win the Triple Crown for a decade? As I sit next to the man who had more hits than anyone in the 90s.
That's not a Triple Crown.
No, but just thought I'd throw you some love there for a moment. Anyway, one away. Here's Skip Schumacher.
Thanks.
Pitches off the plate. That never gets old, though, does it? That little mention when you're introduced at a banquet, something like that.
It's a nice little feather.
Right?
No
Yeah,
question.
absolutely.
And I'm very thankful and very proud of it.
I mean, I know now equal to it is and he works with Darren Sutton. I understand that.
You know what? And it's slowly being replaced by and he works for Darren Sutton.
Well, people are only human.
As far as moments in my life that I'm most proud of.
Pitch is low, 2-1 to count.
And it just keeps getting better every day, pal.
feel like I'm kind of the Andrew Good to your Mark Grace. The 2-1. Belted to right. Justin plays what turned out to be a knuckleball as it came out there to him. Let's take a look at our Amica Insurance hit zone on Ryan Ludwig. $10 for every base hit to the Boys and Girls Club of Metropolitan Phoenix, and that's so far this year. What you don't see on that graphic is the area, as that one is up and in. Fastball sails in there. That's not on the graphic. Neither is the area that Ludwig got hit. Where'd it get him? In the ribs?
Right in the ribs. Those are hard to hit. It's a little changeup right back to the outside corner. Nice pitch. Now, pitching inside is part of the game, Darren. You know that.
You
like
better.
I said, Edwin Jackson has to pitch inside.
And you better do a hitter like
successful. This. Absolutely. If he's going to be successful. He just pitched a little too far inside as that one's driven out to center field for a 2-out base hit. And that always brings up the ever dangerous number 5, Albert Pujols.
And Albert takes those long strides towards the plate, dusts off his hitting area, and gets ready to go to work. He is lined firmly to center field. He has struck out. Admitting to me before the game when we were talking that, you know, I live in this world with regard to coverage, and people always love talking hitting with me, and he's honored by it. That one is a fastball fouled up. But Gracie, he admitted, I look back and I regret it. I get a 3-0 opportunity and I pop a pitch up. I maybe strike out against a pitcher that I shouldn't be. Both of those have happened in this series. He said, I call that giving an at bat away. Even though I'm focusing, for me, that's giving an at bat away.
And he's 100% correct. And it happens. Mentally, it happens.
Bouncing ball. Stephen Drew in time for the out. Pujols is erased.
Jackson cruising now.
And he's leading off the next inning. So Edwin Jackson to lead things off. A couple of innings ago, benches cleared. As the first pitch is swung right through, it's a slider when Jackson hit Carpenter. Carpenter upset about it. Chirped on his way to the mound. Edwin didn't back down and then tried to run at Kelly Johnson. It wasn't a slide and break up the double play situation. And I think the man to my right that I work with thinks that if the score is to be even, it may be at another date.
Well, right now you're in a one-run game. You're scrambling for your win. You're scrambling for your ball club, and to go out there and do something that, in my mind, would be a selfish act. Get even with the opposing pitcher and put him on base to lead off the inning and turn the. That's how you get even. Get him out. You can worry about retaliation later. At this point in the game, you need to get him out. And that curveball will do it to just about anybody.
So Carpenter serves as the doorman, sending Jackson back inside of the building. And a curveball to Kelly Johnson is inside. Kelly has been the victim of a couple of wicked pitches, and he has struck out twice. One and one the count.
Fastball, maybe something like that. Just kind of stayed right down the middle. Didn't do much.
Change up there. 2-1 the count to Johnson. Had to pull that pitch.
Yeah,
once he committed, it was outside.
Sailing away. And try to pull that one. And that's the trouble with having a night like Kelly had last night, where he had 3 ringing doubles down the right field line. You feel like, man, I'm going to hit a bunch of doubles to right and start trying to pull everything. He just missed with that curveball.
Yeah, last night a big night for everyone. The Diamondbacks scored 9 runs, had 6 extra base hits. He had 3 of them.
Good at bat.
Well, we had a very good trivia question for you, brought to you by our
They're all good.
Good friends and partners. Well, they're not.
Some of them.
AT&T. This one, good one tonight, though.
I'm going to guess Carl Yastrzemski.
Ted Williams.
Well, I had the right team, and I had the left fielder, but it was the wrong one.
Boy, some folks are joining us as that curveball is strike.
And the only reason I say that is because Carl Yastrzemski is the last player to ever win a Triple Crown.
The actual Triple Crown. Single season Triple Crown. You played with Williams at some point, didn't you?
No. Stop it right now.
The 0-1. 1-1 the count. We are getting some notes in from FoxSportsArizona.com. Go to the baseball page, the Arizona Diamondbacks page, and there's an icon to click on. We're getting some notes. People are now sending in answers to the trivia questions. That's the kind of stuff we like. We have an emailer.
What have some of the answers been?
Well, we have an emailer from Zach in Tucson. Ted Williams won it in the 40s. He got it right.
Nice going, Zach.
He says impressive considering he missed like 3 years. Do I get a prize? Because that one is outside, is what he asks.
Oh, does he get a prize? I guess there's your answer, Zach. See, yeah, now Zach understands how I feel getting buzzed all the time. It's not that bad, Zach.
Drop us a note, FoxSportsArizona.com. 2-1 the count. Remember, we'll do our best to give you a mention if we see your name or your hometown. Can't answer all the emails, but we appreciate all your correspondence. A topper just got it off the plate. We've got a good one from an emailer we'll share with you in a few moments here. Got some problems at home with some folks. We got to come in, and you have to be Dr. Phil. 2-2.
What are you thinking?
Breaking ball, ground ball. And an awkward throw off the bag, but he made it. It's a double play. down by a run at home will solve some problems in someone's home. Here in a minute, Dr. Grace. There's joy amongst a lot of couples in the crowd. 3-2 the score. But we've got an email, Gracie, and you and I think, can serve as marriage counselors from Jackie Manasco. I hope I said that right, Jackie. Please help us resolve a domestic dispute. Now, that troubles us.
It does.
What is the difference between the curveball and a breaking ball?
Oh, that is a very good question. There's no reason to really, be upset with your spouse. But a breaking ball is, a curveball is a breaking ball. Am I correct?
That's correct.
But a breaking ball can also be anything off speed that's spinning. A slider is a breaking ball. A knuckle curve is a breaking ball. A fly ball to right center going to be caught by Chris Young. That's not a breaking ball. That's a fly ball. But a breaking ball, a curve ball can be a breaking ball. A slider can be a breaking ball. But a curve ball is just a curve ball. This pitch right here is a breaking ball. That was a slider.
It didn't break much.
It didn't break much, but all's well that ends well. So a curveball is what you're seeing a lot of from Chris Carpenter. A big curveball. Well, one of the best curveballs I ever saw was the late Darryl Kyle. Golly, did he have a curveball.
Down the elevator shaft type curveball. So does
one of our favorite people, Bert Blyleven, had a great. Your father had a terrific curveball.
You bet. 1-0 the count.
Gas. 95 right past Rasmus.
So if the top category is breaking ball, under it you would find curveball, slider, knuckle curve, anything that spins. And that's basically how you put it together.
So, Jackie, make nice with your spouse and understand. And I hope whoever was right, I'd probably give them a little bit of neener, something like that. This is a breaking ball. That was a curveball that went a long ways. And that wasn't a breaking ball, that was a long ball.
Yes.
Jackson to Snyder, wants it up. He got it up, but he just missed.
2-2 the count, 3-2 the score. The Cardinals have out hit the Diamondbacks 6-5. This wraps up this series, and it's an off day for the Arizona Diamondbacks tomorrow. Fly ball, well struck, Young still going on the move. He doesn't get there. Hustling on around. And in with a slide and a triple. Colby Rasmus, who homered on a curveball back in the first, as we just mentioned, takes a fastball, doesn't try to pull it. He crushed it.
He takes a fastball down and out over. He is a good low ball hitter, boy. And he rips it. I mean, rips it. A long ways to left center field. Chris Young Can't run it down. Rasmus, who can fly, got that center field speed. In this situation, I ain't messing with Yadier Molina, Darren Sutton. I am not messing with him at all. I'm putting him on and pitching to the youngster on deck, Freeze. This guy is a contact hitter. He's 2 for 2. But AJ's going to roll the dice and pitch to him, and he fouls it off.
Well, and that's the key, as you see Freeze on deck, is the ability for Molina to make contact. Like his older brother and the starting catcher for the San Francisco Giants. Just a tough customer to put away. Infield in, outfield straight, a step to the opposite field, and that one gets by Snyder, trickles away, and a run scores.
Oh, that is painful. Well, now it doesn't matter. Snyder just can't get over there to block it. And a free run right there for the Cardinals. Boy, those hurt.
The 1-1. Aggressive all the way around. A 1-out triple, a great piece of hitting. And he comes on down. Slightly open stance, holds that bat high and away from his body. Chopper. LaRoche to the bag in time for the out. Our Quest high-speed internet high-speed pitch. Chris Carpenter, Edwin Jackson, both lighting it up pretty good. Proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And to let you into the thought process a little bit up here, too, is the next sentence that may come out of your mouth as a fan. Well, see, he might have been able to play that one. Would have been a ground ball, and the run wouldn't have scored. It's a totally different at bat once the run scores. A totally different attack.
And it's a totally different at bat for the hitter.
Absolutely. So once the damage is done and the frustration, as a fan, let's say.
Yeah, the mental edge ends.
But you hear it a lot.
You know, all of a sudden now, the mindset for Yadier Molina is completely different.
0-1 the count. Evens it up in 1-1. As the slider is away. 2-1. 26 years old, Edwin Jackson. Made his major league debut here in Arizona on his 20th birthday. Back in 2003 when he beat Randy Johnson. And the 6 degrees of separation continue because he was on the other side of a major league debut in the first major league win for a youngster for the Yankees when he was with the Rays, when Ian Kennedy beat him a couple of years later in his major league debut. The 3-1.
I love it when you go Kevin Bacon on us.
3-2 the count. Well, I know Kevin Bacon is one of your favorite actors. You were speaking of Tom Hanks, and
he was great in Friday the 13th. Did you know Kevin Bacon was in the original Friday the 13th?
Was he really?
Yes. He was great. He got killed.
The 3-2. That one is fouled off. I do know this. He was nothing at all like Tom Hanks in your favorite film, Joe versus the Volcano.
Oh, man. What a great movie that was.
Look at this, what it's become.
Is that me?
That's Gracie versus the Volcano.
Oh, man. Meg Ryan and I, we look good together, don't we? Oh, Meg.
Meg looks good.
Give me a call sometime.
The 3-2 with 2 outs.
Oh, my.
Got him to wave at a slider. But speaking of the Volcano, the heat
Meg.
on.
Meg!
Leave her alone.
Call me.
4-2. He's back to work.
Meg!
Inning, a breaking ball or a curveball, whichever you'd like to call it, is hammered out of here. And a 3-run inning, and then after hitting earlier, Ryan Ludwig, he hits Chris Carpenter, who is angry, ran at Johnson. Johnson saying, what gives here? Bench is cleared. Well, then Abreu driving in a run. Drew driving in Abreu just barely as he eased on in. And then another insurance run for the Cardinals. So back to work we go. Chris Carpenter, the veteran right-hander, with 85 pitches. Part of our Blimpie game summary, no doubt about it. And he starts off Stephen Drew with a fabulous changeup. And that's where we stand. Glad to have you with us tonight.
Curveball just continues to improve. Rather lackluster at bat right there. 3-pitch strikeout.
In the middle, a key hit, but you're right, he's had a couple around him that have been frustrated. Boy, what's going on out here? Love is in the air, I guess. Celebrating a wedding.
The lotto ping pong balls or whatever. I think they got married.
Did they now?
Nothing like love.
Anyway, here's Upton as he takes a high strike on a slider at the belt.
You play the lotto?
I don't. Love that they're proud partners of the Diamondbacks. But technically, I guess we do. Occasionally, we as a crew pull our few bucks together, and we're all going to move to an island when we win. All of us. We're all going.
Okay.
The whole crew.
We're in.
We're going to have great shows. We're going to send back up to the satellite like turtles migrating back to the ocean.
Oh, like the Galapagos Islands.
Yes.
Those sea turtles out there. You know, we could go to over to the island of Madagascar. You know, they got those big monitor lizards over there. You got to be careful of those guys.
47 of us all getting together. Technical crew.
And we're playing.
Oh, we're in too.
We're in. I put in my $1 yesterday into the fund. It was 4 quarters.
It was. Yes.
Yes, you. It was actually 75 cents.
I covered the last quarter, so you owe me steak and lobster. The 1-2 bounces in there.
It's an even trade-off.
2-2 the count. Upton, we talked about the tough night he has had. Drew with a couple of strikeouts. Upton with 2 strikeouts. He's now 0 for 7 with 6 strikeouts in his career against Carpenter. Just doesn't like it.
Well, there's not many that do. Not many people can say, I own Chris Carpenter. But Justin's laid off a couple pitches to make it 3-2. Let's see if he gets a fastball to hit here.
That's a cement mixer, as you have taught me, a cement mixer slider, and it's called strike 3. So 3 strikeouts. Let's get on down to Jody Jackson talking about Adam LaRoche. Not the man, but maybe the bat.
That's right. As you guys heard on the post game last night, Mark Reynolds had the 3-run home run, and in his interview on the field, he said that Adam LaRoche took credit for that home run, a deep home run to left, because he was using Adam LaRoche's bat. He's been doing that for about the last week, and he said he'll continue to use it. He told me that before today's game when he gets back in the lineup on Friday, and why not? He was 6 for 10 with 2 home runs and 3 walks over the last 3 games, guys.
You ever use someone else's bat?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Jody, by the way.
You know, a lot of times on a long road trip like we've got coming, there's the long home run. And I don't blame Adam LaRoche for taking credit for that because, well, he doesn't have one yet. So he needs to take credit for one, don't you think?
I think he does. That home run, 466 feet, by the way, by Mark Reynolds. Pujols down, stays with it. Carpenter's right where he's supposed to be. Gold Glover Albert Pujols with a fabulous play, taking away extra bases. All that work he did with Jose Akendo. To get 30 miles per gallon or more, Hyundai is now the most fuel-efficient car maker in America. 4-2 the score. Edwin Jackson still out there working. At 80 pitches, he is just fine in the 7th inning. If he's been anything, he has been efficient. There's nothing wrong with that as he pours in strike 1. Brendan Ryan, a couple of ground ball outs as that one misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. A double to start off the ball game, Schumacher. He then scored on a throw home by Justin Upton when he was just bluffing a tag. Ludwig was hit by a pitch previous of that throw as that one misses in, and then a couple of batters later, Colby Rasmus homered 3 quick runs after the Upton miscue. And then on down the way in the 6th inning, a triple and a wild pitch. So that's how the 4 runs have crossed the plate. Meantime, just continuing to come right after him in an efficient manner. He buried a fastball in, and Ryan is the first out of the inning. Be sure to check out the seats where Mark Reynolds hit his home run yesterday. the all-you-can-eat seats at Chase Field. For just $30, you can get a ticket to sit on the inside diamond level, plus all your favorite ballpark food. Here's the deal. You get hot dogs and popcorn and Pepsi and chips. It's a great way to stretch your dollar. I call the value items as well, but a great way there at Chase Field. Tell you how to get there in just a moment as the first pitch is a strike. Harpner stepping out. 602-462-4794. The 0-1 waves at a slider away. No balls and 2 strikes. It's over to Northern California for these St. Louis Cardinals as they head to take on the Giants. They'll have an off day today in San Fran. The 0-2. Shot right to first. And Adam is there. I guess you'd call that an Adam ball.
ADAM?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you call it that. I think we're going to start calling it that.
You're not going to get that on other shows, folks. I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
This is just. It's bad.
4-2 the score. Facing Skip Schumacher, the fastball is low. Your thoughts? I just explained the run scoring by the Cardinals on Edwin tonight.
I think he's been very good. He had a very shaky first inning. I think Cardinals came out first pitch swinging. I mean, and I think it took Edwin a little bit by surprise. So I think it took a full inning for Edwin to adjust to these free swinging Cardinals tonight and maybe tease him a little bit off the plate early in the count. And right after that, he started getting a lot of quick outs, hence his pitch count is still very manageable. But I think he gave up a wild pitch, scored a run, and then the rough first inning. But other than that, I think he's been pretty doggone good. What about you?
Yeah, I would agree. He navigated through some problems. He's had a couple of double plays. We told you folks coming on the air that he is evolving, whether it's by choice or whether it's with intention, into a little bit more of a ground ball pitcher. Still loves the high fastball. You can't just take something out of your game that's a part of who you are, that made you an all-star. That fastball down. He's about to throw one here, I believe, has been very successful. He overthrew it a bit.
97. Man. He has got a very valuable right arm, as you said.
Sweating through that cap pretty good here. It's cool outside. We all know that. On the ground again. There's the second baseman, and in time for the out. He's given his team 7. There have been some miscues behind him. Let's see if they can get him a couple of more runs.
going at it tonight. That's kind of rare.
Oh, yeah, you kind of like that stuff. How about that second inning confrontation between Jackson and Carpenter? We'll break down their thought process and how they kept their emotions in check.
Who do you think got the better? Who regained their emotions better?
I'm liking Jackson right now. He's going out there and he's just dealing.
Great stuff. We'll see you guys after the ball game.
Well, there you have it. It's Quest Diamondbacks Live. Jackson getting after it. Chris Young popping it up. And up and behind us. Let's see if there's a little bit more offensively for Edwin. Carpenter 2 away from 100. There's a little bit of tossing going on in the pen. Out to short. And a quick out, couple of pitches, and Ryan turns Young into the first out of the inning. 6 in a row sat down. Don't forget about the offense. Boy, they need it, these Diamondbacks. Anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell gives away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the next day.
Did you get your tacos today?
Oh, absolutely. On my way into the ballpark because it's between 4 and 6.
I got mine.
That one is fouled off and into the seats it goes. And he's at 101.
In complete command right now.
Trying to win this series, the Diamondbacks. Remember, they won their first 2 home series. Para, Pujols dives, recovers. Unbelievable play by Albert.
He just beats you in so many ways. That's why he and Alex Rodriguez are the 2 best players in all of baseball. This guy, he's got that title in the National League. Look at the dive. Saving extra bases. Carpenter getting over. And that ball was already past him when he gloved it, Darren. What a great play.
And he loves doing that. Remember, when you look at Albert Pujols in this game, he's 0 for 3. That man he gives all the credit to with working with him tirelessly defensively, Jose Akenda, third base and infield coach.
When we played against him, he was the secret weapon.
Akenda?
He played third, short, second, catch, outfield. He could play everywhere. Come off the bench, switch hitter, find a way to beat you. That was his nickname in St. Louis, the secret weapon.
Heck, you could put him on the mound if you needed to. Two and 1 to count to Chris Snyder. Howery starts to warm in the pen. Chris, fly ball left. Boy, a 1-2-3 inning for the Carpenter in the 7th. Doing some woodwork.
Back here at Chase Field, D-backs down by 2 in the 8th, and Coyotes back in action on Friday night for a pivotal Game 5 at Jobbing.com Arena. You can see it on Fox Sports Arizona. Jody Jackson in the seats here with Coyotes backup goaltender Jason LaBarbera. Jason, you've been a big part of this team all season long, and let me first ask you about the loss in Detroit, even the series. What's the sense from this team right now as you head into Game 5?
Confidence. I think, we've done it all year. We have such a good group of guys. We have such a good team, so it's no one said it was going to be easy. It's best of 3 now, so we have to go in on Friday and get a win and go back to Detroit and see what we can do there.
You and Ilya Bryzgalov are considered the best tandem of goaltenders in the league by many. What's Bryz's mindset right now? And the way he's performed has been terrific all season long and in this playoff series.
Knowing Bryz, he's pretty calm. He's a pretty calm, collected guy. So the first 2 games we played here, the fans were unbelievable. So we know we're going to come back to a lot of support. It's when you play in front of a crowd that's all white like that, it makes it that much more special, that much more fun to be around. So I think everyone's excited to come back home and play on Friday.
We saw Shane Doan with the injury Game 3. Didn't play in Game 4. What's the latest with Shane?
I'm not sure. We had the day off today, so me and my wife are checking the game out tonight, and we'll probably find out more tomorrow.
Your wife Codette here, and you know what? You came to this baseball game, and a hockey brawl broke out. What did you think of that?
Yeah, it was pretty exciting there. I've been to a lot of games in my life. I've never seen the benches clear like that. Obviously, guys it gets heated, it gets competitive, and guys get angry. It's a little bit different than what happens in hockey, but it was pretty fun.
All right, Jason, best of luck to you and the Coyotes down the stretch here against the Red Wings. Game 5 on Friday on Fox Sports Arizona, guys. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
That's good stuff. Thank you, and best of luck. The Coyotes
Good
have
luck.
not won a playoff series
Go get 'em, boys.
since 1987 when they were the Winnipeg Jets. So off they go, and let's hope that it occurs. As that swung right through. And I mean this respectfully with regard to Jody, but he came to a baseball game and a baseball fight broke out.
Yeah, that was nowhere near a hockey fight.
See, I see totally what she meant.
There's actually some punches being thrown.
3-2 the count. Boy, he just buried a fastball, took it right into his kitchen, and Ludwig couldn't do anything.
Now, Edwin at this point is terrific. Now he's up against one of the best customers in all of baseball, Chris Carpenter. But boy, he has done himself proud this evening. That was pitch number 99 on 3-2. He just reared back and he beat Ryan Ludwig, a good fastball hitter, with that one. Well, he'll have to be real good here as well.
Curveball misses in. To know how concise and how researched this man is in the batter's box, he used the number 16 when talking about the amount of bats that he has calculated he's given away, he feels already to this point in the season. That's not one of them. Matt Holliday plays behind a guy like Albert Pujols, and he shared with us the difference it makes when he hits every night.
You look at a chance to play with a guy like Albert, and to maybe, just being around a guy like that makes you better. I think, you get a chance to watch him, and, the focus and some of the things that you can pick up on, even just trying to not keep up with him, but, just push to be the best that I can be, along with, how great he is, I think is something that made me really want to come back here and be a part of this organization and be on a lineup with him.
Makes sense to me.
That and $100 million or so will make me happy.
0-1 the count.
Still throwing hard, Darren. Still throwing very hard as Chris Snyder took the brunt of that one.
Look at the home plate umpire there, Ed Hickox, walking the new baseball out for his catcher that it's working in front of him. Got him in the shoulder there. Some of the little parts of the game, the relationship between those two. Snyder thanked him. You see that?
There's a brotherhood with the fellas behind the plate that wear the gear. They know what it feels like. 98 mile per hour. Still think there's anything left in his tank, Mr. Sutton?
I think there's plenty left. There's no question about it. He is due to lead off the next inning, or he'd still be working in the ninth.
He's on the bad side of a 4-2 ball game right now, but he has really impressed me this evening.
And again, you go back to the double by Schumacher. He hit Ludwig, and then the fact that he got Pujols to line to center. There was a miscue behind him. It could be a very different ball game if all plays were made. He has sprinted in his own fashion, as you can see, to the finish line. Cole Gillespie set to make his major league debut as he is called upon to pinch hit for Edwin Jackson. As we talked about, acquired last year. Spent a majority of spring training with the big club, and in his major league debut, that's a pretty tall task, Mr. Gillespie. Edwin Jackson, he was very tall himself on the mound. A changeup flutters in there, and it grabs the inside corner. Third round pick in the 06 draft by the Milwaukee Brewers. As that one dives away, Oregon State University was the co-captain of the national championship team in 2006 and the Pac-10 Conference Player of the Year. There are Edwin's numbers. Very good numbers. Shot down the line it goes. Cole Gillespie, welcome to the big leagues. Hit number one, and it turns out it's a big one. A double for Gillespie. Welcome, young man, to Arizona.
It's not that easy, young man. Just go ahead and put a 1 right there, and that's his batting average. He just got a slider that didn't do much, and he just ripped it down the left field line. He said, man, this guy Carpenter's been hog-tying everybody. What's so special about him? He rifled that double down the line. Congratulations, young man. What a job by Chris Carpenter on the other end as he leaves. That is one impressive right-hander.
Always in the Cy Young race. That man now in the big league race, trying to stay in it each and every day. 111 pitches. Grinded out, hitting the wrist with a pitch in the left arm. Angry, and to his credit for his team, it probably killed him to do it. Hold his emotions together. That's what a professional does.
That's what winners do. That's why he is a Cy Young Award winner. He wins games. And, yeah, he had to pull his emotions together. Very impressive. He was very upset about being hit. Now he's very upset because he allowed a leadoff double.
Veteran Trevor Miller. Soft tossing left-hander who's been at it for a long, long time. Kelly hangs in there nicely against lefties. Hot shot, as we were saying, down the line it goes. So Gillespie scores his first Major League run. It's a one-run ball game, and Kelly Johnson, yet another two-bagger.
Kelly Johnson was happy to see anybody but Chris Carpenter in there, even if it means a left-hander, and he got a fastball to his liking, and he rifled it down the right field line. Bang! We've seen that a few times in this series. A bunch of balls going to the left of Albert Pujols. Kelly Johnson now representing the tying run out there on second base.
There it is. Back into that dugout. There certainly is awe, but he did spend a majority of the spring with these guys. It's different, though, when there's an extra couple of decks on the stadium.
Are you bunting here, Darren?
With Tony Abreu, Stephen Drew waiting, left-handed hitter. No.
I'm not either. Let's see if AJ, but AJ, he gets paid handsomely to manage this team, and whatever he wants is what Tony Abreu is going to do. But I think right now, a guy that handles the bat well, corners of the infield in right now, man, he's got a lot of room to whack it through this infield and tie the ball game up.
He's not bunting at all. And they are in, as you said, both sides. The middle is in and working the base runner. Bo Porter with a full set of signs. Meantime, the Cardinals look for their guidance. Albert hasn't moved. Look where he is.
He may back up as he's standing right there.
Hot shot on a backhand. Pujols has to hustle back to the bag, and so the worst case scenario was never ever realized. He tried to shoot the hole. He did his job in taking it to the right side. At least he moved it over.
Great stuff there by Tony Abreu. Only a terrific play by Skip Schumacher kept that from being a tie game. Shoots it through the right, over to the right side. Gets Kelly Johnson over to second base. Look at all that room. That's really a good play there by Skip Schumacher. Oh, we got a tie ball game. Stephen Drew now an opportunity against the lefty. Look for that big sweeping breaking ball and try to hit a fly ball somewhere. There's the sweeping breaking ball. There's strike one.
And at the last moment as that pitch came home, had nothing to do with the actual pitch itself. Both Ryan and Schumacher were back and charged in as the pitch came home. They're about midway now in the middle of the infield. They go back. Now here they come.
Oh, he got a hanging breaking ball right there, and he swung through it. Oh, boy, that was the one to whack a long ways. Now he's going to have to go to battling. I mean, boy. Woo, those were fun, Darren. Now he's got to battle. He's got to find a way. Find a way to make contact. Decent speed at third.
Outside. You don't blame Miller. See if he'll go fishing.
Seeing all that movement in the middle of the diamond, the hitter sees that when he's looking out at the mound. That's a big distraction. Tony La Russa has been doing it for years. You can see all that movement. And that's the reason they do it. Instead of just playing in the whole time, Tony La Russa used to do that all the time when I was playing against him. Try to distract that hitter any way you can.
Here they come in. Here it comes. Outside. Oohs and ahs from this crowd. He hit his spot, but it was a good 6 inches off the plate.
The only thing bad about all that movement on the end, you got your middle infielders doing wind sprints. You don't want to wear them out.
2-2. Outside, and Skinner's on by. Racing to the plate, we're tied. And that man will not win this ball game. There's a whole dugout full of Diamondback starting pitchers that know exactly how he feels.
That's exactly right. Twice now, one for each side. A wild pitch scores a run. Just a breaking ball that Yadier Molina just didn't get out there, couldn't get out there. And we've got a tie ball game. Edwin Jackson has officially spit the hook. Now he still could get a win. Ball 4. I would imagine that's going to be it for Trevor Miller as Justin Upton's going to come up. And Tony La Russa, he's going to go to the mound and make the change. And I also want to say, Darren, before the change is made, you have to give Tony Abreu a lot of credit for that run scoring, giving himself up, hitting the ball to the right side, moving Kelly Johnson to third base to set up that wild pitch.
He's been all around things tonight. He has been contributing. Remember earlier, too, he did some learning. Got an earful, not running hard to the plate. This team wouldn't be where they are without Tony Abreu. We're tied at 4. For the score, visit the official online shop of the Arizona Diamondbacks at dbacks.com. Browse from the largest selection of t-shirts, hats, jerseys, and more. Get yourself an Abreu jersey. Log on to dbacks.com today. He wasn't even supposed to be playing in this game, by the way. But Mark Reynolds is given an extra day because tomorrow's an off day. That quad barking, and Abreu's been in the mix for everything. Mott goes to work with an electric fastball. 0-1 the count to Justin. The Amica Hit Zone brought to you by Amica Insurance. For Upton and supporting the Boys and Girls Club of Metropolitan Phoenix. And that's the best part. Hitless in his last 15 at-bats.
Yikes. Well, he's been known to break out with a bang.
There you see Jason Mott. First batter efficiency, we show that to you this year. If you see he has 7 appearances, less than half the time, so he's only gotten 3 up to 7 first batters he has faced.
Very good speed at first base in Stephen Drew. Oh boy. He just got a fastball blown right by him. And you can see right there, when you see Justin get beat that badly on a fastball, it just means he's guessing. He's looking off speed. Look how late that swing was. Because he's looking off speed. What he needs to do is just trust his talent. Because there is a boatload of talent.
Wow. 1-2. 98. He probably would have knocked his helmet bill off if he hadn't swung at it.
He had his mind made up.
Yes,
didn't
he did.
Now just gear down a little bit, Justin. Relax. Find the baseball and let her rip.
2-2 the count. You just hope that that peace comes over him and he's settled in like he was all spring and for the first week and a half of the season. Drive something hard to right center field.
Well, that's when he's good. That's when he's driving the ball the other way. Not trying to pull everything.
Pujols over there at first base talks about hitting against pitchers like Mott. And you see Upton on occasion adopt this approach more and more. The harder they throw, Albert said, the easier I swing.
That's the way it was. Let them supply the power. Let the pitcher supply it. You just put a nice smooth swing on it, the ball jump.
That's up.
Now you got to send the runner here, don't you?
Do you?
Or do you? I do.
Okay.
You did it all spring, did you not?
Yes.
Every 3-1, 3-2 count, you did it all spring. Well, if practice makes perfect, then you practice it all spring. Why not do it now when it counts?
Let's watch Steven. Not going. It's a strikeout. A 4 strikeout night for Upton. It's a tough one, and Steven was not going.
Just a fastball up out of the zone and right by Justin Upton. Might have been looking for another breaking ball. I don't know. This cat just throws way too hard. I don't know if I'd have the nerve to look breaking ball off him.
Trying to do a lot, isn't he?
Looks like it, yeah.
Breaking
good
ball.
Breaking ball right there. Not a curveball, but a breaking ball.
0-1 to count.
Outfielders all very deep in their no doubles defense. Trying to take away any extra base. They'll give the single, but a single will not score Steven Drew from first base. All of them almost swapping paint with the wall.
No one shell it. 1-1.
Overthrew that one. Very obviously.
And Molina, even though he's still a youngster, age-wise, he's a veteran. Come on now, he says, come on. He's
Hey, Jason, try to keep me in my crouch, please.
He does such a great job.
And he wants another off-speed pitch. And he got it. Boy, good pitch there from Jason Mott.
A lot of motion, a lot of action with regard to Mott. He never stops. Walking,
No, he's
kicking,
high-strung out there.
pulling at the pant legs. He comes set. That's
Okay.
that's the only
Rip
time.
snorting, blowing snot. That's beautiful. Love that guy.
The 2-2. Fastball is in. Now the pants.
Tug,
Gonna
lick, wipe. Steven Drew will be on the move. Yep, wipe. Pick up the, okay. Yep, pants, wipe. Tug. All right, tug. All right. Yeah, a little spit going. A little snot. There you go.
Runner goes. The pitch. What an at bat by LaRoche. As Mott goes back into kinetic motion. Couple of runners on. And a chance for Chris Young. Grounded out to short. Single. And then grounded out to short again. That single snapped an 0 for 21. Anything will do with Drew out there running. Generous strike zone, 0-1. That's a slider. Hitless in his last 7 tries, Chris is, with runners in scoring position. The 0-1.
That was a hanging slider there. Young couldn't pull the trigger. So Jason Mott jumps ahead 0-2 now. Time for Chris Young to just go into battle mode and go into survival mode. Find a way to poke it somewhere. You might find a hole.
Mott, tired of standing still for a quarter of a second, steps off.
Those voices in his head told him to step off.
0-2 the count. Boy, another slider right at the belt. Young fires that bat away as he goes down on strikes. Mott going to go run 32 miles. The third, clap of the hands, and here's why. Because a rare miscue behind the plate by Molina, as that one was outside, allows Johnson to score, our APS Energy All-Star. Chad Qualls, for the 3rd consecutive day, takes to baseball. We shared with you yesterday that Qualls pitches very well over the last couple of years when pitching with no rest. Talked with Chad about that before the game. He didn't want to know the numbers, but the answer that he gave backs up the numbers. And we've watched him for the last couple of seasons, and we understand why. Goes to work, it's strike one. Chad said simply, Gracie, that the fresher I can be at times, the harder I try to throw, or sometimes just feel too good. When I'm a little bit tired, a little bit fatigued, my sinker sinks more, and I just let my motion take over. Fair enough?
That makes sense. And that's what you want. He's got such movement on his fastball that he doesn't need to throw it hard. He just needs to throw it for a strike somewhere and let that great motion make the hitter hit the top of the baseball and get a bunch of ground balls.
The 1-1. Good pitch. It was funny. He said, "What are those numbers?" Then he stopped. He said, "Forget it. I don't want to know."
Forget it. I don't want to. Hello?
I don't want to know.
No, thanks.
His manager, before that conversation, said, "I'm not sure if Qualls is available tonight. I think he is. I need to talk with him." I went and asked Chad, "What are you going to tell your manager?" I'm going to tell him I'm ready to go. I'm fine.
You got to love that.
High drive. He hung his slider. It's crushed. Way out of here. Got it over the pool, up into the walkway, and the St. Louis Cardinals lead it. Colby Rasmus with a long ball. That wasn't the sinker. That was the slider.
Well, he got beat with his second best pitch. And that'll drive a guy to nuts. After a good sinker. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Yep. And that ball was destroyed. That's what you're supposed to do with mistakes. My goodness.
Six hits in this series. In 12 at bats. He's got 2 homers and a triple tonight. His first ever multi-home run game. All right. The D-backs are going to have to do their work right back through the middle. It's a single for Molina.
And right now, if I'm AJ, I'm going to have to probably get somebody up and maybe get Chad Qualls out of there as quickly as possible. This is his 3rd night in a row of pitching. Maybe somebody as quick as possible, because it's pretty obvious that Chad's kind of dragging out there tonight. You got an off day tomorrow. If you get him out of there now, you might have him for Friday. But it looks to me like you're looking at a tired Caballero right there in Chad Qualls.
And so here he goes. Instead, he fires over. Molina's not going anywhere. He's looking for a ground ball, so we talked about the successes he's had. Pitching 3 days in a row, as we said, maybe a different animal than just back-to-back days, don't you think? At times, for some.
What's going on with all the throwovers on Yadier Molina? I think they're probably getting it from the dugout, trying to get Howery loose out in the bullpen. And I think they're trying to get Chad Qualls out of the game eventually by getting some throwovers.
Want to know the count to David Freese. For the score. Drops it down with Freese with a good one. Snyder in time for the out.
Well, this team really executes their bunts well, don't they?
They do a lot of little things well. Keeping base runners close, dropping down bunts, pitching, fielding.
They're just fundamentally sound, and that's what Tony La Russa demands. Or as Matt Holliday said, if you don't do what he wants, he'll find somebody that will. And they're going to stay with Chad Qualls still.
Looks like Snyder got something in his eye, so he takes a moment.
Once again, Brendan Ryan showing bunt in really a non-bunt situation. Drive it in the gap. Drive somebody in.
Well, you make the obvious point, too, that you don't, look to move a runner to third for the second out of the inning. I agree with you. Hit it hard somewhere.
Might drive somebody in.
Like that. He's got bunting down the line at there. Ronald's around in the corner. 6-4 the score. So tonight, For Qualls, it did not hold true. It's been a rough night.
And they did stay with Qualls, and it came back to bite them. So the bullpen, unfortunately, back to where it was, unfortunately, before last night.
Time to play the game!
Designer bag, they're calling it. The Brewers are coming to town. 602-462-4794 or visit dbacks.com/giveaways. So Bob Howry goes to work. And for Howry, it's been certainly more downs than ups, but a chance to keep it right here, a 2-run deficit. And for Bob, the problem has been the long balls. Felipe Lopez in the right field. Upton is up with it. They stop the runner on a long hop to the plate. And Lopez, the former Diamondback, with a single.
Now the first pitch Bob Howry throws got whacked into right field. Justin missed the cutoff man again right there, and I can't reiterate enough to you young outfielders. You want to make your manager or your coach happy, hit the cutoff man. There's the pitch drilled into right. Justin comes in nicely, charges it nicely. That's going to keep Ryan at third, but then overthrows the cutoff man, and then anything can happen. That's actually a nice play by Snyder to corral that ball. Or that one could have gotten away. So Justin got to aim his sights a little lower.
And again, like earlier, a situation where clearly the Cardinals, respecting Upton's arm, they were not sending the run. As that one is swung right through, just as Schumacher was not going to tag and come home in the first inning. It's such a gift, that arm. I mean, it is such a gift. And he will tell you, I've learned so much, and I feel like I'm much more comfortable, but not where he needs to be, not all the way there yet. At least anyway, using tonight as the example.
Well, I think a lot of times I used to call it the hero complex. You always want to make the heroic play, and if you think that guy's going to try and score, well, you want to gun him down. And what that leads to a lot of times is mistakes. You come and get it so hard you might boot it, and then the guy scores anyway, or he might throw it away.
Fastball in on his hands, belted deep right field. Upton looks up, and it's out of here. Wow. Schumacher. How in the world did that ball get out of here? It did, and without a doubt.
It's because he killed it.
He pulled the hands in and spun on that fastball like it was nobody's business. My goodness.
Those guys with short arms like Schumacher has, it's tough to get inside on him. Bang! Boy, did he ever bring his hands in nicely, threw the head of the bat at the ball, and now the route is on.
Pitch is high, and boy, the home runs have been the biggest bite taken out of Howery since coming over to the Diamondbacks. The 1-0. 1-1 to count. Diamondbacks will sleep at home tonight, and they will get ready to take on the Phillies. The Cardinals will sleep in San Francisco by the time they arrive, and they'll sleep pretty well.
Well, I have a feeling you're right.
In on the hands that time. Drew is there, and in time for the second out. But before they say goodbye, as Schumacher gets himself some refreshment, we get to see Albert Pujols hit one more time. And those folks at the ballpark do as well.
So the folks that are sticking around, they get to see one more heaping helping of Albert.
One and 0. Colby Rasmus, 2 homers and a triple. The Phillies come to town for the weekend.
They're not very good with the bats.
No, they can hit a little bit. Like that, man. 2-0.
They're really good with the bats. I was telling a fib.
Cole Hamels, Jay Happ, and Kyle Kendrick are the 3 opposing pitchers. Two and 1 to count. This situation, asking Pujols about it, the focus that he shows even with his club up by 5 in the 9th inning. These are the at-bats, he said, I cannot ever give away. Same focus as if it's my final at-bat of my career. Now in the next breath he will admit, I'm not always able to do that.
Well,
and I told
because
you that,
he's human.
And I told you, Gracie, that number 16, he actually has in his mind a tally of the at-bats he feels like he wish he could have back. It's incredible. 16, he threw that number at me.
Yeah, a 300 hitter has already tallied that he's given away 16 at-bats.
The 2-2 outside. And I said, so what's your goal then? What do you try to do if that total is? He said, if it's 60 on the year, then I try to make it 30. I have to cut it in half.
Okay.
He said, you know how much I can help the team if I cut those at bats in half? Now, I don't know if I'll get there, but that's my goal.
Oh, look out, Tony Abreu. What a play.
Did he give that at bat away?
No.
That's what I thought.
He smoked that ball. Albert's 0 for 5, but the Cardinals are up 5-5.
9-4 the score. Let's take a look ahead at what's brewing. We told you Cole Hamels, Jay Happ, and Kyle Kendrick come to town with the Phillies. We will not be on television on Friday night, so come on down to the ballpark. Saturday, we want you at all the games, but if you're not making it down, watch us on television. Gracie and I will have it for you. A Mark Grace weekend. No network assignment for you.
No network assignment. Very happy about that. Stay right here.
Look at that little one. We'll see her this weekend. Well, she is set to go. Got the long sleeves and the jersey. That's awesome. Ryan Franklin warmed up, so he's coming in.
He's coming in the game.
We talked about that
yesterday. If you closer up, you might as well get him in the game.
Last season, just to finish the thought on the Diamondbacks and their relief pitchers. D-backs pitchers gave up 169 runs in the 8th and the 9th inning, the most. And this year they've already given up 20.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's recent history repeating itself. All right, got a 5-run inning in you there, Darren Sutton?
Well, of course I do. You know my glass, it's always half
full.
That's exactly right. Candy canes and chocolate chip pancakes in my world.
No, I know there's quite a few other things that you might be full of.
0-1 the count. Taps that one off his foot. Gerardo Parra.
All right, come on, Darren. You've been moping around here all night. Let's go.
At least for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, good point. Kind of fun in the bottom of the 8th.
The 0-2.
Mercy.
Now that's how he closes games, correct? Not with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Strikes. And about 3 different pitches that he can command. Just a beautiful split finger or change up, whatever that is. Parra way out in front.
And so now Chris Snyder, outfield playing in the pull. Infield just about straight up, maybe a step over. That pitch floats in. Well, Edwin Jackson pretty good tonight. Well, he got in some trouble early on. There was a miscue behind him, which changed his approach to Rasmus, who homered. Boy, tough pitch to handle there.
But most everything Ryan Franklin throws is down around the knees. Curveballs, splits, fastballs. And he's got a lot of heart, a lot of guts, no fear out there, and that's more than half the battle. Look at that pitch right there, just off the plate at the knees. Some good news came out of tonight, didn't it, Darren?
Yeah, you bet. Cole Gillespie got to the big leagues, and he hopes to help with Connor Jackson out right now. National champion at Oregon State. Snyder, fly ball, and into the seats it'll go. By the way, Cole getting his first hit in his first at bat and getting the assignment as a pinch hitter. That's a rarity, and it's certainly a celebration. First hit in first at bat in the big leagues, first plate appearance as a pinch hitter. The last 2 times it's happened in the game, it's also been Diamondbacks. Hester last year with a homer, and Ryle the year before that, or I should say the time before that, with the single. As that one is away, 3-2 the count. So impress your friends around the water cooler with that mill.
There's Rusty.
And there's a man who has had a tough night. Part of a bullpen that's had a tough, about week.
Season.
Yeah, it's made it seem like a tough season. The 3-2. Strike 3.
Well, once again, right at the kneecaps. Back-to-back strikeouts for Ryan Franklin. And Rusty Ryle is the last gasp here for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Attention for Bob Howry, number 4, Rusty Ryle.
There's Rusty. That pitches high and inside. Stay with us for the post-game show, Quest Diamondbacks Live. It's a long, long time ago that we almost had a near baseball fight.
That's more of a pillow fight.
Fouls that one into the seats. Some of the fans that were here have gone home. Coming in, and I think those that stayed rewarded with that rally in the 8th inning.
And off of, in my opinion, top 3 pitchers in the game, and Chris Carpenter. Oh, look at that fastball zip right to the inside corner.
When you have a reputation, too, of being a strike zone killer, you get more, don't you?
Well, sure.
I'm not saying that was a ball.
Oh, that was a strike, yeah, but yeah, umpires know who's around the plate and who aren't.
Locks that one up. 2-2 the count. Deuce is wild. Bouncing ball to third. There is Freeze. The Cardinals win the series over the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they do so with an explosion in the 9th inning. 5 against this Diamondbacks bullpen, and they win it by a score of 9-4. So we'll be back with you on television on Saturday night as the Philadelphia Phillies come to town. A lot to talk about in our post-game show. Brad and Joe, a near bench-clearing brawl, the work of Edwin Jackson. Gracie and I will join them. It's Quest Diamondbacks Live. It's our post-game show. Go ahead and roll the open.